Hi, everybody. I'm Nate Eaton here with EastIdahoNews.com, chatting with Keith Morrison on Zoom today. Keith, you have a special coming up Monday night, a Dateline special. Where are JJ and Tylee? There's been a lot of developments over the past week. What can we expect in the show?
You know, Nate, I have a feeling you know perfectly well what we can expect in the show. Your reporting on this has been extraordinary and enormously helpful. And as NBC News contributors, you and Eric have really helped us a great deal. So we will bring the story up to date. And as your viewers may know, there are those on the inside who know very well how all this happened, how it came together, and ended up going in the strange direction it did. That was what the piece that previous stories we have done was really this. There were people who were guessing at it, people who were able to provide little bits and pieces of what happened and what the personalities involved were. But to be able to tell this story and tell it in a way that helps people understand why and how is, I think, very useful. So Monday night, that is what we're going to do. Now, that won't be the last time we do this story. It's a continuing and, as you know, rapidly developing story.
Yeah, this is the third show, I believe, that Dateline has done on this particular case in just months. I mean, in the past 4 or 5 months. You spoke with Melanie Gibb, who is a key person who probably knew Lori and Chad better than anyone, at least their relationship over the past few months. What did you take away from your interview with her?
Well, that she was very much smitten by Lori. Is that the right way to put it? As she put it, Lori was like Velcro. She took you in and didn't let you go. She was such a remarkable personality and an embracing personality. And I think that she certainly wanted to believe Lori, and she certainly believed. I think she went with what Chad and Lori were telling each other, as a number of other people did. They kind of bought into this whole idea. Her moment of ungluing, if I can put it that way, was when the call was made, when the police called about the whereabouts of JJ, and then first Lori and then Chad called her and asked her to lie for them and take pictures of other little kids who might be mistaken for JJ. That's when she understood that this was all scam, a sham, I should put it, not so much scam, self-delusion as much as anything.
Yeah, I know that she met with you, I believe, the day that Chad was arrested, right? And all these things were happening.
Right. And, it's an interesting thing. We talked about that. I mean, this is such an incredibly sad story. When you think about those children in the backyard, in a place where the people living in that house would know all about and would be going back and forth and would be on location. And it's just hard to fathom how you could live with that right in your backyard. In any case, when we talked about that, I think she hadn't sort of fully absorbed what the news was. And it's one of those things where, sometimes you'll do an interview with somebody and it's not until later, an hour or two later, they go, wait a minute. Really? It registered.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, speaking of that, because we've talked now every so often about this case and where we might think it'll end up. And last time we talked about the 2-hour special back in May. Who would have thought we'd be where we are today? And what does that say about 4 or 5 months from now or a year from now?
Well, certainly, justice has a way of slowing everything down and thinking about things pretty carefully before it makes a move. I think we'll probably see a lot of that for the next period of time. I don't believe the authorities are in any great hurry to amp up the charges against Lori and Chad, as long as they're behind bars and waiting for whatever will happen next. So this could take a while to play out, it seems to me. I'm sure we'll do another story when further events warrant it, but I'm not expecting. Are you expecting things to move that rapidly?
Well, thus far, they seem to have been deliberate in taking their time, as you've said, and so I think we might have a few developments here and there. But the one question that everybody's asked me, everybody's asked you, is when will Chad get arrested? And that finally happened. And where are the kids? And now we know. So now we're waiting on Tammy's autopsy and a few other things, but it seems that things are going. Keith, your overall thoughts about the new developments, your interview with Melanie, Monday's show?
Well, I guess we all kind of knew that this was heading in the direction it went, but the finality of and thinking about what happened to those children and the other victims in this case, and the reason is just so sad. It really is.
Yeah. It is. It is. And we'll stay on it, as will Dateline NBC Monday night.
Yeah.
Here in the Mountain Zone. It's on at 9. But if you're watching in other parts of the country, it's on at 10 on the East and West Coast. And Keith.
Lucky you.
Yeah, we go to bed earlier. Yeah. Keith, thank you so much. All the best to you, and we'll chat again.
Absolutely. Nice to see you, Nate, if only over this machinery.
Yeah, maybe in person one day soon.